Hi, I'm Keaton Gleim, and I'm here to tell you about my favorite hobby, jogging, and why I think everybody should do it. Um, I started running, probably about 15 years ago when I was a kid, and I've really been doing it ever since. It's super easy. It's the one sport that I didn't have to get any equipment. No coach was yelling at me. I could literally just kind of go outside and run. And so that's really one of my favorite parts about jogging. It's just how easy and accessible it is. So um, that being said, let me give you some more. So one of the most important parts to me about jogging is to stay healthy, right? I want to keep my heart in good shape. I don't want to become a couch potato, and I jog. So there's this fun study that was done in the Washington Post where it was found that folks who jogged saw a 40% reduction in premature mortality, which is crazy, right? If you could do one thing that saw a 40% reduction in death, in premature death, I don't know, I'd do it too. It also regulates my sleep patterns. I started jogging. I kind of wake up in the morning at about 6 and I go for a nice light jog, and it's like drinking a cup of coffee in the morning. I still divulge in a little bit of coffee, but it's great. It tastes good, it gets me energized, so it helps that too. Another big aspect for jogging for me is mental clarity. Whenever I jog, I feel like that's the best time for me to think. If I ever have to make a big life decision or I'm all worked up about something, I'll go for a jog and just think about it. And I feel like I can have just the most clear thoughts. Anyways. So it's cool though. So Reader's Digest did a study in the benefits and how cardio affects your mental health. And because a lot of people say, you can lift weights or you can run, and they have kind of about the same effect. Well, that was actually not the case. So they found they paired up cardio and stretching, and they found that cardio resulted in a drastic increase in mental activity in in the frontal cortex, as opposed to the people that were just stretching. Another thing is happiness. Running contributes to my overall happiness in such a drastic way. You guys ever get just down in the dumps, right? You're kind of like just bummed out. You don't know why, and you're just pissed off at everything. Well, I get like that sometimes, and comes to find out, it's usually when I haven't worked out in a while or jogged. And I find myself getting into patterns like that where I get bummed out and I won't work out, or I'll get real busy. I'll be on the road like I am right now, and they don't have the gym that I like, and I'm unfamiliar with the area, and so I won't run, and I'll find myself being real grumpy and grouchy, and I don't have much of a fuse. So it's like the number one contributor to my mood and happiness. So they did a study on this. The Washington Post did a study on how running affects your hormones, and they found out that long distance runners had more of this hormone called leptin. And leptin is it's tied very closely in your brain with your pleasure and a feeling of euphoria. So it goes to show that if you run a lot, you're going to be a lot happier. So in conclusion, running for me, not only is it accessible, I can do it anywhere, but it provides me it makes me a heck of a lot healthier. My mental clarity is a lot better. I can go on runs and I can think about my life. I can really contemplate stuff. I can learn stuff for this class. And it makes me a lot happier. I'm just a better person overall from running. So based off those three things, I think you guys should go out there, grab you a pair of shoes, and hit the pavement. So does anybody have any questions? Yes, sir. what were my favorite? Oh, what kind of shoes do I wear? It's a great question. It actually changed my life. So I started having a lot of knee pain, and I started using shoes called Hoka One Ones, and they've got really thick like soles on the bottom. And my knees started feeling a heck of a lot better. It really changed my life for running. So that those were a huge help for me. Any others? How long? Well, I said it earlier. It's been about 15 years. Honestly, I think I was young, like 8. I think is when I really started. My dad did it, and I just kind of like jumped in there and started chasing him, and he'd lead me, but eventually I was able to catch up with him, and it's kind of fun. So yeah, that's how I started. Thanks.